I've got a question for you today. So why can't I tell? So when I'm walking along the street, why can't I tell how deep the curb is or how deep some steps are? I just can't do that. To me, I have no idea. Why is that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So people with albinism have certain things different about their eyes and their visual system. There's a number of bits that we talked about in other videos. One key bit that most people with albinism don't have is the ability for the brain to combine the image from both eyes of the same object and see it as one. The important thing about that is, if you think about it, if I have something in front of me here and both eyes are looking at it from two different angles, my brain can do something really clever and work out how far away from me it is by using those two different angles. So I have an idea of that's how far my finger is. And that's called stereo vision. It helps with depth perception, so the perception of how deep or far away something is. So most people with albinism wouldn't have that. Some do, but most don't. And therefore 3D or distance vision judging is really difficult. So that makes perfect sense in lots of ways. The other thing to mention is that some degree of your brain working out how far away something is also based on absolute vision. So it's not just about this 3D thing. Once you go beyond a certain distance, it's more about actual vision of that thing. And the brain even does all sorts of clever things, like as you move your head, it works out that you're here and then you were here and you've seen it at two different angles and tries to work out how far away it is. Those things are also much more tricky in albinism. So it's a combination of things, but the main one is probably that 3D vision that you need to tell how far away something is, like a step or a stair or a curb. And most people with albinism don't have that.
So it's quite normal not to be able to judge the depth of a step or a curb or something like that.
Absolutely is common for people with albinism. There's lots of other people who have that as well. So children who have one eye that's a lot stronger than the other, often the brain is alternately ignoring one eye. That's called lazy eye or amblyopia. That's really common. You know, when you see kids walking around with patches, you don't have to have albinism to have that. But a lot of those children would only ever be seeing through one eye at a time, and therefore they wouldn't have that benefit. Two eyes looking at the same thing from two different angles either. So it's not restricted to people with albinism, but it's really common in people with albinism.
If you've got anything else you want us to discuss or any burning questions you want us to answer, then please put it in the comments below.
And if you could press some of those buttons at the bottom, the heart ones, the thumb ones, whatever they are, apparently that's good to get people to see these videos. So please do that.